Well, many of you know that there's not been a truck race at Sonoma Raceway since 1998. We ran 4 times here from 1995 to 1998, and we're really excited today that bringing the trucks back after 24 years, we've been able to invite back the 4 guys who won those 4 races, 1995 through 1998. Ron Hornaday Jr. won the first race ever here at Sonoma Raceway in 1995. Dave Resendez, sitting just to my left, won in 96. Joe Ruttman at the end, 97, and Boris said won the last race held here in 1998. So, Ron, you were the first. So, what do you remember about coming here for that very first time?
It definitely hasn't changed. It's still the same racetrack, but you guys spruced it up with some paint jobs on the curbs and some nice literature. But you know, I was fortunate enough to run here with Southwest Tours, one of our stops on our points deal. So had a lot of laps around here, and when the trucks came here, it was just like one of my home tracks. I love Sears Point. It's one of them things. And
well, you didn't tell us that.
I know.
You cheater, you.
And Dave, you won here, and you that was pretty much the end of it for you. You kind of just rode off to the sunset, and now we're seeing you back 25 years later.
Yeah, it's like being time travel. So coming back here, I mean, Joe and I were asking, hey, do we get to go on a track? So just so we could remember it, but I like road courses. It was a ball being out here. I came in 97 too. I didn't quite finish the race when Joe won, but I love this place. Love it. Love being back here.
And Joe, I mean, California guy, but now you're back east. But kind of talk about your racing here. I mean, you have some pretty crazy stories as it is. So.
Oh well,
he's a pretty crazy guy.
As much as they could, and Resendez slowed down coming down through the S's. I didn't mean to knock him off the track, but you know he didn't have brake lights on his truck, so I didn't know he hit the brakes. You know, so I booted him a little bit. Knocked him off. So that's how I could win. You know, I didn't pass people. I just knocked them off the track if I could catch up.
And Boris, you won the last one here. Now all 3 of these guys were full time in the truck series, and you kind of came in here and beat all of them in '98. Was that? Well, I can't remember your history, but that had to be one of your biggest NASCAR wins.
I mean, my history is road racing, and so I've run here in a lot of different classes, from BMW and Trans Am and different sports car stuff here. But that year I was doing the full season of trucks, so I was getting humbled up pretty good because it was my first year really doing ovals. So it was nice to finally come to a road course and try to be on even footing. But still, it was a tough crowd, but it was one of the highlights of my career for sure. Winning a NASCAR race, it was the first one I ever won, so it was a pretty good feeling.
All right, let's
it was a good night.
Let's open it up for questions and wait on Sam to bring the microphone back here in the back.
I told you, they think we're has-beens. They don't want to talk to them kids nowadays.
Yeah, Justin Schuler, Kicking the Tires. Question for Boris. Has it kind of resurfaced or resonated that for the past 24 years you've been the defending race champion and you've been able to hold that honor for so long?
To be totally honest, I never thought about it. So, yeah, that's a long run then. But no, I never thought about it. I mean, I've come here so many years, and I have so many great memories here. And to see this name, the John Carnell Center, because I did a lot of events with John Carnell, and he was a great guy. And all the different series I've raced, I worked for him, so worked with him. But, no, I actually never thought about it. What you think about now, coming back, walking by the cars, is you just want to get out and drive again. So it looks fun.
Joe, being a California guy, how big of a deal was it coming here racing?
Well, you know, your lifelong dream is to be a race driver. You know, my brother I wasn't a race driver, but my brother was a real race driver, you know. So I tried to emulate him, and you know, it was really a thrill because you hear so much about Sears Point, if that's what I referred to it as back in the day. And it was just a lot of fun, you know, and Boris, you know, cheated a little bit because he come up hot lapped, you know, in about 1901. I remember being up here with a truck and he was up here hot lapping. So for him to say he hadn't been up here a while in the trucks, he was, because he took my truck and I was worried to death because a bushy-haired guy like that driving a truck, I don't tell him what happened to him. I thought he put his finger in a light socket and it did his hair like that, you know. So anyway, I was a little scared.
It's just the product. It's just a different product.
It's a different product?
Yeah, that's all.
Okay.
That's all it is.
But it's,
Well, it's been 24 years, so tell everybody what you guys have been doing in the last 24 years. What are you doing now? Dave, we'll start with you.
I'm just, I went right back to where I started. We have a family business, been around for 60+ years. We do site work, heavy equipment, bulldozers, excavators, all that stuff. And that's what I do, and I've always worked with my hands, so I keep all the stuff running. And that's what I'm doing up until maybe another year, and I get to go get my own place and play with hot rods and stuff.
And Boris, you're still racing a little bit, and you got your son here with you today?
Yeah, I mean, I retired full-time a few years ago, but, you know, I still like to run Trans Am every once in a while, and I ran the Cup race at Coda I really wanted to try that new car. But actually, my son just started racing last year in the SCCA, and we have a lot of fun doing that together. And then on the side, I own a couple car dealerships with Rick Hendrick, which is pretty neat. And we have a bunch of indoor go-kart tracks all around the country called K1 Speed. And we're just in the middle of building our first world-class outdoor go-kart track. So we just put the asphalt on it last week. So we're pretty excited about that project.
And Ron, I know you got a lot of interest in this ARCA race that's getting ready to get started here.
Yeah, but Boris must have made a lot more money. It sounds like he's busier than I am. I just still build race cars and have fun and helping Landon Lewis. What a shoe. I mean, this kid came to me when he was 12 years old, and he hadn't stopped. Everything he gets in, he's winning. So I'm looking forward to seeing this ARCA race today.
Joe, what have you been doing all these years?
truly.
Spending his wife's money.
You're right. You know, she's wealthy, and you know, I haven't been making any money.
And
But
blind.
I've been picking out a place that I want to be buried because it's any day, you know. So I'm picking it out ahead of time to make sure I pick out where I want to be. And she says, "Well, do you want to be on the straightaway, whatever track?" And I go, "Well, I know what the fool's running over me, you know." So I haven't decided, but I'm still traveling around the country trying to pick that one perfect spot out I want to be buried.
All right, we got a question in the back.
Hi, Peter Fournier with the Press Democrat newspaper. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And seeing Carson race today with his injury, in your racing experience, have you guys raced with anything similar or an injury like that through a race or even through a qualifying session?
He's got a broken right ankle, if you guys aren't. He broke it last week.
If you're a race car driver, you're going to drive.
Yeah, I mean, I've raced with broken ribs twice, broken shoulder. Yeah, doesn't matter.
I was at Gateway, raced at the Harvick. I got my appendix out on Thursday and raced on Saturday. So Nascar told me I couldn't race until I got a doctor's release. I said, well, I almost won the race. I think we were leading 3 to go, and the pan came out and took the motor. But it's amazing what adrenaline does. You don't feel no pain.
Tom?
Tom Zaleski, Iron County Today. For any of you, but primarily for Ron, I noticed that the races that were run here were all later in the year where championships were involved. Was there any extra pressure, challenges, trash talking? What kind of backstories you got with those races?
A lot, especially when Joe's running it, because he's always going to pick on you and always going to make a joke out of it. But anytime he joked about it, he always meant it. So you had to watch it. So. No, it's just another race, but this is prestigious, close to my house, you know, and I should say I'm only 5 hours, 6 hours away, but not no more with their stupid traffic you got around here. How do you guys live out there with the gas prices? We're $3 cheaper in North Carolina, so come on, move back there.
You got other questions? Well, guys, thank you. Appreciate you guys coming back. They're going to give the command to start engines before the race today, and going to do some stuff out in the fan zone in a little while. So thank you guys for coming back, and appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.